Update 7.2 for Star Wars The Old Republic has been out for about a week as of recording, so I wanted to pop on and share my thoughts on the new story, what I liked and what I didn't. I'll keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but I will be talking about some of the things that Bioware revealed prior to launch. So if you don't want to know anything at all, you might want to steer clear. Otherwise, let's get into it. Showdown on Ruhnuk was hit or miss for me. I'm not a big fan of the Mandalorians, and I think how much you enjoy this story might depend on how much you like Mandalorians. Because the story is largely focused on Shae Vizsla and her vendetta with Hedda Cole and the rising tensions between the clans. But even though all this isn't right up my alley, I still found it better than the story we got on Manon, and there were several things that I did like about it. For one, the visuals are up to Bioware's usual high standards. Ruhnuk is a beautiful planet with several varied locations. These environments were clearly created with a lot of care and attention to detail. Likewise, the cinematics and cutscenes are also well done. They're fun to watch, and taken together with the environments, they help breathe life into the story and help with world building. It was also great to see Torian and Akavi show up to lend a hand. They aren't pivotal to the story, but they aren't just set dressing either. They each have their own unique dialogue, including romance dialogue, and they don't just show up for one scene and then disappear. This isn't the first time Bioware has brought back old companions, but it does show their willingness to use companions who might be dead for some players. After all, Torian has to be one of the most killed off characters in the game, since it seems most people say Vet. So if he can have content, then so can other might-be-dead companions, and that's good. We also get some better antagonists in this story than we had on Manon. Hedda Cole's motivations are better fleshed out and more nuanced. I could even see some people possibly wanting to side with her. Another thing I really liked about this update was the amount of class-specific dialogue. I'm not talking about just some NPC making a brief reference to our character's former accomplishments, but dialogue that our characters get to say that is specific to their class. For example, my Sith warrior had different dialogue from my consular, and my smuggler got several sassy, funny lines that no one else had. Now, I don't want to overstate this. It's not every time, it's not as often as we'd like, but it seemed like there was more than there has been for a while. It almost felt like my characters had rediscovered their personalities, and that was actually really great. It's something I've wanted Bioware to get back to ever since they dumped all our characters into the Alliance Commander role, and I really hope it's a trend that continues. So those are the high points in this story for me. Unfortunately, there were things that didn't work out quite so well and really dragged everything down. Chief among these is our Force-using PCs forgetting they have the Force. I'm not suggesting they should be invincible or invulnerable, but they should use the Force. It's what they do. They should be able to sense things, be able to persuade or choke, electrocute, or throw people and objects. They should be able to jump higher, run faster, and react sooner than non-Force users. In other words, they should just use the Force, and they don't, ever. That's just bad storytelling. If the story can't happen for both Force users and non-Force users, Bioware needs to rethink their story, or split them, so that our powerhouse Sith and Jedi don't look like morons all the time. And the last point I'll make here is that this update, like so many updates in recent years, doesn't feel like it accomplishes much. It barely moves the story forward. We seem to be constantly in a holding pattern, just treading water. Each update is billed as leading up to something big, but that something big never seems to come. That might not be so bad if we got more frequent story updates, but when they come only every 6 or 8 months, it's frustrating. There are other things I could mention here, but since I don't want to go into spoilers, I'll just wrap this up by saying that if you really like Mandalorians and Mandalorian lore, you probably really like this update. If you don't, it's still better than much of the stuff that Bioware has been serving up lately, but there are things that might annoy you. So there you have it, my non-spoilery take on the latest update. If you've played it, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. And you know the drill. If you like this video, why not leave us a like and maybe subscribe for more stuff like this. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.